Hello everybody, welcome back to Killer Film Reviews. Today I will be reviewing the film Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, also known as Transformers 2, which came out in 2009, so it's been some time since this film has been out and in the wild, to say the least. I watched this growing up pretty much, and my impression overall was it was a decent movie for the time. So let's get into it, shall we? So for our top cast, we have Shia LaBeouf, Buff, Megan Fox, Josh Duhamel, Tyrese Gibson, John Turturro, Ramon Rodriguez, Julie White, Kevin Dunn, Isabel Lucas, and John Benjamin. So the movie begins kind of where we left off with the Transformers 1. They have the shards of the Allspark secured in a vault. Optimus basically put them in the trust of the humans after the first Transformers incident. Megatron is down in the Laurentian Abyss. Basically you have Soundwave hijack the communications so that they're getting this information directly about Megatron being in the Laurentian Abyss and them having to shard the Allspark. And basically what happens is a raid is carried out by this unique dog robot thingy that basically acts like a fish and transforms into a dog, and it just sits there and just demolishes all the defenses and spits out these bead robots that basically take over base. Then they eventually merge into this robot that looks like a giant knife kind of a thing, and it just sits there and just slices through everybody. And they eventually get the shard of the Allspark out of there. Sam Witwicky and Michaela's relationship kind of goes back and forth during this film. There was an incident in which Megan Fox had to depart filming over disagreements with the director Michael E. Bay due to how she was being treated during the film and some differences in opinion on the direction of the overall plot. I believe that they've peacefully resolved these disagreements over time, of course. It just took them a while because Megan Fox later showed up in a later Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film that Michael E. Bay directed. I think this is where you start to see the decline of the Transformers series just a little bit. I don't really notice the big decline until probably Dark of the Moon. But then Age of Extinction basically came and it was like, what the heck? It was like, really? Another Transformers movie? Honestly, I was excited at the time, but I think they kind of made too many movies without an overall plot direction. Now the writing in this film is somewhat okay, but I wouldn't call it the best. Like, how the hell where did these Transformer guys come from? You know, like the original ones that settled down in Egypt. Where did the Primes come from? They don't really answer that, really. I mean, you could say that the Primes come from Cybertron, but still, you don't really answer the question. And why does the Fallen not come down when Optimus was fighting Megatron in the first place? Like, if they had teamed up in the first movie, Optimus would not have won. It's things like that that make you think, I guess. Obviously, you know, you have... Spoiler alert, of course, but I'm sure everybody knows this by now. Megatron gets revived, he comes back, he's looking like a sea crustacean for the most part. Transforms into this jet tank hybrid thing. Transforms into like a tank once, I believe, in the film, pretty much. I think overall your expectations for this film after seeing the first one should be somewhat like muted a bit, because they kind of go all over the place with it, but there are some laughs for sure in this film. Like the twins pretty much are like the funny part, the comedic relief. You have Sam and Michaela kind of going back at it because Sam basically runs into a woman, and the woman just instantly just takes advantage of his vulnerable state, you know, kind of a little bit. It gets into Sam's business pretty much when Sam's freaking out from touching the Allspark. You know what I mean? Sam is just totally out of it. Doesn't even realize it, you know? And as far as the lore goes with this film, they kind of expand on it by having the primes, by having the matrix of leadership finally featured in the film, when in other continuities of Transformers in animation tend to have Optimus already having the matrix of leadership. This one makes Sam go get it because they need to revive Optimus. In terms of pacing, this film is decent. There's funny moments here and there. Nothing really stands out to you. I mean, obviously they should explain the plot, why the primes even came. I mean, well, obviously they came for resources, more energon for one, and that's sort of the central plot, is that this harvester is hiding in one of the pyramids of Giza, and they gotta sit there and stop it from turning on, and they need the matrix of leadership to turn it on. The video game companion to this film was somewhat decent, but it didn't really have much structure in it. It kind of just didn't even follow the plot from the first Transformers 1 game. You just completely started out in random. A lot of mechanics were different from it too. A lot of memorable moments, such as Barricade being around. Barricade doesn't even show up in this film like at all. It's like, where did Barricade go? He like disappears. It's not even in the film. When he was in the first film, it's like, Barricade didn't die. Why is he featured in the video game companion to the film, and then he's not shown in the live action film? It just doesn't make sense. Obviously you can tell I play some of the games that are companions to this to these films, so they're near and dear to my heart, honestly. Obviously, they received a lot of funding from the U.S. federal government, of course. That's how they're able to afford to do so many complex animations. The carrier scene where the carrier's just kind of destroyed by the fallen was impressive visual-wise for the time. Just showing it go down like it did. Obviously, you know, one of the big things that you have to contend with this film for the time it was in was some how am I going to say this? They objectify women a little bit in Michaela in this film, because I have a scene where she's sitting there and changing clothes and whatnot, but kind of was the mood for the time, if you think about it, honestly. The movie's designed to appeal for teenage boys, pretty much, honestly. In all honesty, it did its job well. But seriously, for the times that the movie was shot, it is what it is, you know. Obviously, when you shoot a movie like that today, you just catch a lot of flack for it from certain groups of people. And yeah, they do have this Rodriguez character in here, Lee Spitz or whatever, Spatitz. He's pretty much like comic relief, and he just never ends up returning to the films that happen after this one. I don't know why. I just find it interesting that he never returns in any subsequent films, because he would have been funny. Agent Simmons keeps showing up in all of them in some form, basically. All the films that come after this. But you'll notice that the analyst and her hacker buddy do not appear in this film at all. Would have been nice to see them back, honestly, in like some sort of cameo sort of thing, you know? No, there's not going to be a cameo started for Killer Film Reviews, as that would be way too much work. There's already 6 channels now, if you can believe it, including this one. Ah, man. But what else can we say? I think that the action scenes in this film were pretty good. They're well executed. A lot of explosions and fireballs, typical of a Michael eBay film. Was there some moments that could have been different? Yes, the Michaela scene could have been different, but this is more of a retrospective review. Obviously, at the time, attitudes towards things were different, pretty much. We're just starting to see the cultural trends kind of change across the whole US during that time anyway. We're all going through different change of pace, you know, first African-American president, first this and first that, you know. Even social media was just starting to really take off around 2009. When you think back on it anyway. Nothing against President Obama. He's great. So what else can we draw from this film? Is it a 10 out of 10 film? Well, I'm sure 13-year-old me probably would have been, yeah, but no. The 20-something me now is like, probably not. Probably falling along the lines of a 7 out of 10, honestly. Because while some parts were great, other parts weren't so cohesive. The writing didn't quite flow. You'll get what I mean when you watch the movie. Some of it doesn't flow well when you watch it, because they just kind of jump around just a little bit. But it's not as bad as Star Wars 9. Star Wars 9 was worse for that, by far. I would do a review on that, but I would have to rewatch it to give an honest, fair review of it. And then I would have to go back to the entire Star Wars films, you know, and have to go through them all and kind of review them to kind of get to that point. But I only have so much time to do all that. Honestly, my impression, I just finished Book of Boba Fett, so I'm gonna do a review on that here in the future. Probably just gonna rewatch that finale because it was so great. As for Transformers wise, is there plans to review future films in this series? Definitely, but I think that I ought to turn my attention to finishing up to doing a Boba Fett review next, because honestly that's more recent and more pop culture-y now, and I've got to sit there and get me out to the theater and go review some more recent films, of course. But if circumstances are where I can't, then we're just going to keep reviewing films from my film catalog. Ah, man. I got a couple of good films I can still choose from. You know, I think that maybe we ought to do... what's it called? Tenet. Because honestly, that came out at a time when nobody was going to the theaters, so I think I might just rent that and then watch it and then give my review on it, you know, make that the next film review after this. Because sure, I can go into Transformers 3, but I didn't just make this channel just to do Transformers film reviews, you know. Get them to do other films too that make you really question what's going on in them. So I'm looking forward to rewatching Tenet. I'm just gonna find out where it's streaming these days, or if I have to rent it or what. It's honestly such a good film. But Transformers 2, today's standards, 7 out of 10. If we were back in 09, probably would have been 10 out of 10 for younger me, pretty much. I love the action scenes, pretty much, and you know, it's kind of cool seeing big robots fight each other even now when I'm this age. It's such a shame that the series just is never going to revive the original continuity of the films, and that they're restarting over again. They're just not really expressly saying it, but I think they did a good job with Bumblebee. That was a decent film. I may review that in the future, who knows. I only have so much time to do film reviews. That's why this channel is numbered number 5 and not numbered number 1. Numbers kind of denote priority when it comes to when I put out videos for them, for the most part. Even though some channels may be more popular than others, I still kind of go by that same order for now. But obviously, some of you watching this are going to be like, where's the FNAF video for Security Breach? Truth is, it's going to be recorded. Please be patient. It will be out. As for main channel, I already got videos coming out this week for it. Racing channel already has a video uploading now as I'm recording this. Little Forza Horizon 5 gameplay, which will probably be out before this video even hits uploading, honestly. So I just want to encourage you all just to check out all the channels. If you just go to the homepage section on your desktop, you should be able to see them easily. Or the home section on the YouTube mobile app as well. Because I have all the channels all listed up there, and they have all their all the videos linked to each channel. I've got to do some sprucing up to include more playlists in there for each channel, obviously, but I'm going to be doing that here shortly. And yes, as a side note, there is a Landedkiller Plus channel that is me. Any other channels outside of that are not me. I gotta update descriptions and everything and make sure that is known across all the channels. And yes, I still am dealing with that annoying bot problem when I do live streams on the main, the Landedkiller show. Unfortunately, there's not much I can do about it, but try to just hide the bots. And once again, thank you to Sigma Hellhound for always helping out in the live streams. I appreciate that guy so much. He does so much. Gonna have to get him a decent warship inside World of Warships in the future. That's beside the point. Transformers 2, good film. Transformers 3 review, when? I would say give me a good couple of weeks before I return to Transformers. I want to try to do some other films besides Transformers, more action, mystery films, so we'll see where we go from here. But again, thank you for your support. I will see you on the next video. Thank you.